Heyo, you're tuning into Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, you're being toasted with some r/malicious compliance, where healthcare workers are invested in pseudoscience. Our first story is by Manglewood. Around 2008, I was a radiology assistant in a mammography unit, meaning I was the person who ushered in patients, showed them where to put their belongings, giving them the gown and instructions. Another part of my job was keeping the radiology station clean and tidy so that work surfaces were clean and sanitary. Around the same time, The Secret was huge and my coworkers were all way into it. For those who don't know, it is a ridiculous pseudoscientific method pushed by Oprah Winfrey that promised that you can get whatever you want simply by visualizing and asking the universe for it. The ugly side of this fairy tale thinking is that if bad things happen to you, it is your fault because you invited it by putting bad energy out into the universe. I found it wildly inappropriate that healthcare professionals believed that breast cancer victims had caused their own cancer through negative thinking. I fought with a few of the radiology techs about it, but I was completely outnumbered, so I just tried to keep my head down, focus on patients, and do my job, which included tidying up their O magazines, secret books, and other secret-related material so that their stuff wouldn't be all left strewn all over the counters. Since they all hated me for not being in their secret clique, they decided to hang up on me and go to the managers with complaints about my attitude. I was called out of work into a disciplinary ambush meeting where I explained my side of things, and one of the higher managers totally agreed with me and actually defended me. But the conclusion of the meeting was I was told not to touch anyone else's stuff because there were complaints that I was shoving magazines into the corners and threw away someone's copy of The Secret. I really wish I had, but I actually didn't do that. It was a complete lie. So, by complaining about me, my idiotic coworkers effectively took away the part of my job which was cleaning up after them. I was no longer allowed to touch their magazines, so they piled up 2 inches deep on every surface. Plus, empty bottles and yogurt containers, used napkins, cafeteria trays, popcorn tortillas, and all other sorts of trash. The workstation looked like a landfill. They would be absolutely seething about it and glaring at me, but I would sit there reading, happily doing absolutely nothing about it since I wasn't allowed to touch their stuff. And then someone down below points out a very good point. Their mess was the result of their negative energy. Oh, that's so good. I like it. No, it is. I don't understand cliques. I don't understand them. Like you just hate one person because they disagree with you with something. Like, that is so childish in my opinion. And the fact that they're healthcare workers and they have a childish mindset like that, I wouldn't want them working on me. If I went to the hospital, granted, with their own pseudoscience thoughts, I probably wouldn't want them working on me, period, but they're in healthcare, and they have such immature behaviors of just pointing out one person being like, that's the guy we're all gonna hate today. And like, why? Just throw your indifference to the side and just continue on because you're a worker. Work. That's what you're supposed to do, not create interpersonal things and then get angry at a coworker and hate them. Like, they're your coworker. You're supposed to just work on a job and do the job, and that is it. Get paid. Do the work. Ugh. They're just so immature. Anywho, the next story comes from Ghost Elise. A Karen neighbor of mine complained that my roommate and I park in the same parking spot, which is right next to the walkway up to the apartment building. Both of us ride motorcycle, and both motorcycles belong to me, but my roommate rides one to get to work. And she accused me of using my second bike to get a de facto reserved parking spot when nobody in the complex has one, and said that what I was doing was not fair and it is cheating. And I said, okay, I'll stop parking both my bikes in one spot. She seemed satisfied with that and left. An hour later, I had all 7 of my motorcycles, 5 of them from inside the garage I rent, but it's halfway across the apartment complex, sitting in front of the apartment building, taking up every prime parking space in front of the walkway to my hall in the building. She went straight to management to complain, and the management came out and knocked on my door. "We can't have you using up every parking space."
Let me guess. Karen complained.
"Yes."
Yeah, she told me I'm not allowed to have 2 bikes in 1 parking space to reserve a space. I'm not doing it to reserve a space. Both my roommate and I ride both of the bikes. We park in that 1 space. All the bikes belong to me, but I gave the keys to one of them to my roommate to ride for commuting to work. The other one is my bike for going wherever I need. We both park in 1 spot to be nice and conserve parking spaces so that other people have somewhere to park. I was just showing Karen what would happen if I'm only allowed to park 1 bike per parking space. The other 5 bikes are generally in another parking space in my garage where I keep the bikes that I don't ride frequently.
And the apartment manager said, "I understand, you made your point, and I'll talk to her. Please put the other 5 bikes in the garage."
No problem, I said.
It has been a few weeks, and I haven't heard from Karen. To which then, down below, we get a nice story from H1 King. This reminds me of a story I once heard. I can't find the link, so it might be apocryphal. The story goes, San Francisco was trying to increase revenue from parking meters downtown. So they passed an ordinance saying that only 1 motorcycle could be in each space on a street, instead of doubling, tripling, or quadrupling up as was normal. So the riders coordinated to all bring their bikes downtown on the same busy weekend, and each took up 1 space, filling up every space in the downtown area for miles around. As you can imagine, it was chaos because none of the car drivers could find street parking and had to opt for much more expensive garages and or driving around for hours looking for a space. Needless to say, the ordinance was repealed. Yikes. I just have to ask, where does Karen think he's gonna park the motorbikes? Like, what? He has 2 motorcycles in 1 spot, and if one of them is being used and the other one's not reserving the parking space, where does she expect him to put this second motorbike in the first place? I just have to ask that. I don't understand. Anywho, and the final story comes from Defiant Lion. So, I am a fiend for Excel spreadsheets. I absolutely love them and even bought an extra wide monitor for home so I can see them all in their glory. My boss keeps telling me that she is an advanced Excel user. She can run macros, she can do pivot tables, she knows formulas. Not once have I seen her create or manipulate a spreadsheet in the 6 months I have worked for her. So, I had a template on our team's chat that we used every week. It was automated to within an inch of its life to tell us about the company's health. We've been using it for the last 4 months, and after I was given approval by the boss to make it live, gave her a tutorial and everything. And this was for the admins to see it, and I'd only need to update the raw data once a week instead of send it manually to whoever wanted it on a given day. Up to 4 times a day usually. And it took about 6 hours work a week having it set up like that. Well, the boss told me to take it down because a different department who hadn't seen it was worried about personal data when one of the admins told them about it. There isn't anything like that on there, and anything that isn't open access is password hidden anyways. Our IT team has to be formally requested to add a new member to our team's chat. The spreadsheet is password protected. The tabs are password protected, and the whole company is locked down hard anyway. So, the boss orders me to take it down and delete it. Run a fresh one for anyone who wants it. So, I explained there wasn't anything in it that was personal or private data, but got told, nope, delete it. tried to explain that we use it amongst the admins every day and it has all these built-in features, tables, etc. Nope, delete it. So I did. The fallout? Well, continue to read on. Q today. Boss says to me her big boss meeting is presenting figures to the executives tomorrow. And she starts quoting figures that are wildly out from the true numbers. I question where they came from, and she shows me a Frankenstein report that is saying the exact opposite of what she thought. Run by someone not even in our department. I tell her the accurate grand total and show her how I got there with a simple table and some screenshots I had of the original shared spreadsheet. She asks for access, and I tell her it has been deleted. I explain why and even show the meeting notes where she had approved its use after viewing it, and she denies any knowledge of that, but wants it back. And I said it would take me 2 to 3 days to make it again due to my workload increases. I saved a copy of the template, but no way am I telling her that. This will give me breathing room to get the backlog out of my queue while she thinks I'm working on it. Let her sweat through that executive meeting knowing every figure is wrong. No one's saving her A in this team anymore. I will never understand people who hate Excel spreadsheets for the sake of hating them. I have had the same problem myself. I was at work, I made an Excel spreadsheet to make a... We were like wasting 5 pages of paper for nothing, because I made it an Excel spreadsheet and all of those things were just put onto one sheet each. And for some reason, they just didn't want it. Like, it was saving so much paper. Like, why do you want to waste paper? You just hate Excel for the sake of hating Excel, and I don't get it. I really do not get it. It makes life so much easier to just copy, paste, and everything, kabam, it's all done. And you don't have to like re-look and be like, oh, are the numbers right? No, because you know it's right because you did it properly. Sorry, I went on a rant there, but I don't understand people who hate Excel for the sake of hating Excel. I will never understand that. I personally am also a fiend for Excel spreadsheets. They are awesome and make life really easy when you need to do a lot of things. But, I mean, her stupidity made her fall down, so not my problem. Not OP's either, anywho. But anyways... Well, that is about it for those stories today, but if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow bread bag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day, so I hope to see you next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.